The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
And hello again, everyone. Steve Beverly with you live from the Blacksmith in downtown Jackson, Tennessee. It is the USJ Coaches Show, and tonight we're going to have a blast because we're going to be talking volleyball, and I've got two of the most fun people that you could possibly have anywhere to talk about that sport, or anything else for that matter. We are so glad to welcome Martha Sheffield, the head coach and associate athletic director at USJ, as well as Emily Bullard, who is her assistant coach. And they have some ties that went before USJ that we'll get into just a bit. But tonight we're going to have some great fun with that. We hope you're with us for the next hour, and there's still plenty of time if you'd like to come down and get a great meal right here at the Blacksmith. And we're here on the patio area, and so if you'd like to come on down and join us and just see what all the fun is like, and we're here every Wednesday night at 7:30 live here on the BallGame Blitz Sports Network. So we want to talk about volleyball right now, as we're going to do for the entire hour. Yes. Martha, before you ever became a coach, and I want to tell you, both of these ladies played together at Freed Hardeman. What got you to play volleyball to start with? What was your motivation?
My mom. So my mom, I was blessed to have my mom as a coach all growing up. She coached me in volleyball.
That answers it right there.
So she was my passion and my role model. She worked in education and was a school counselor and was at one time volleyball, basketball, and softball coach in Florida. And then when she started having babies, she just dropped a couple here and there, but she coached me in volleyball.
Not babies, but the sports.
Yes, us. And then she coached my older sister in softball as well. So she was, our life was sports and was volleyball and coaching, and I just wanted to follow in her footsteps.
And you're from the Orlando area.
I am, just outside of Orlando, Mount Dora, located in Lake County.
So you've got all the kind of energy and enthusiasm for sports that is all over Florida without any question about that.
Yes.
Now, Emily, you guys met at Freed Hardeman, but you didn't know each other at all before you got there.
No.
All right. So, and how dangerous was it after you did meet?
Oh, it was good. It was good.
I didn't ask you whether it was good. I asked if it was dangerous.
It was that too.
It was that too.
You handled that quite well. Well, tell me your story about how you became in touch with volleyball.
Oh, well, I grew up in Northeast Arkansas, and they were known for volleyball there for a little bit, and my parents basically were like, You're athletic, here we go, and just threw me in there, and volleyball it was.
Now, with both of you, did you have strong high school programs that you played with?
Yes, we did. I mean,
Because some states and some areas, it's still hard to find in some areas volleyball.
Volleyball is huge in Florida in general and in Central Florida especially. There's a huge club and organization out of Orlando that's big. But my high school was always competitive, always was going postseason into the state tournament. I was never fortunate enough to win a state championship in high school, but we were awfully close numerous times. But hers was very successful.
Mine's about the same, yeah. We were very.
Did you come away with the big one?
No.
Well, it was close, though.
It was close, but no.
You have all these memories that you can talk about that you were there and you're that close on that.
That's right.
Martha, what led you to USJ?
God.
You know, that's as good an answer as you can come up with.
God, my husband and I and our family, we just put our faith in God, and when he opens doors, we go through them. And so my husband's from here. He played college football at Lambeth, and we got married and just we're going to let God take control of our lives and lead us wherever. He led us to Nashville for a couple years, and I coached at CPA there, and then led us back to Jackson the same summer the Bullards moved back to Jackson from Arkansas.
I know, right?
You're sure you're not sisters?
Yeah. God has been at work in both of our lives and putting both of us at USJ with these amazing girls.
Your sisters from different mothers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Definitely.
And both of our moms claim both of us.
Yes, they
and
will.
our dads. They love us.
I got this feeling, though, in just getting to talk to you before the show, that's probably true. That frankly, you probably have been together so much, it's like you're an extra member of the other's family.
Do. Yes, our kids.
Our kids.
Pretty much
husbands. They're all just...
They're there.
All right, now when you what led you, because you're not a full-time employee of USJ.
No.
Now tell everybody what you do.
I'm a physical therapy assistant. I work at Physicians Quality Care Physical Therapy.
Jimmy Hoppers and Friends.
Yes, just a little plug there.
I've known him for a long time.
But when she moved over to USJ to coach full-time, she recruited me, basically. I said no the first year. I coached a club team for her, which was weird because it was during the pandemic.
That is tough.
And we were excited about club, and then it just kind of fizzled because of the So
that was hard on everybody during that time.
It was tough.
It was weird. They changed all the rules. I mean, they've still changed the rules, even for volleyball. It still is not.
Yeah, because I was
like
calling
it used
union
to be.
volleyball at that time, and I got to tell you, it was so strange about how the players had to be so separated from each other on the teams, and the fact that they did not switch sides of the court as a protective measure.
And now we still in the
don't.
captain's meeting, they're like, home court has the advantage, but nobody ever wants to switch sides. We're like, no, we're going to stay right. This is our side. We're staying right here. Like, no, sorry, we're not moving.
Make it an option now. You have forever changed the rules of the sport,
which is crazy.
All right, how much do you put into practice the things you learned as a player when you are coaching these girls?
Ooh, so
100.
with every coach I think both of us have had, you take pieces of those coaches. So my mom, I take a lot from her. Her biggest thing was relationship goals and orientation. And even my dad got into coaching volleyball some for a little bit when I was.
Was that a good thing or a? No?
Yes, he was great. It was great. Now he officiates in East Tennessee. He can't get away from the sport now, so we've got him hooked with that. But then, like my travel coaches, Steve, you take some. Our college coach, Todd Humphrey. You just find it and you make it your own, and you make your own coaching philosophy. But at the end of the day, like, your program is who you are and who your coaches are. And so we reflect a lot of that on us. But we're always learning. We're always going to clinics, trying to learn from different colleges. Our favorite clinic we've been to is at the University of Arkansas. And it was we just learned and were able to develop and kind of change some of our mindsets too, because the game changes so much and so fast. And it starts with the men's game, and then it goes down to women, and you watch and you learn and you take what you can and you kind of just develop it and make it into your own culture that you have already created.
Yeah, I always find it, and you talk about having to adapt to different things, and I remember when I first started calling volleyball a few years back, I had to get up to snuff on how the rules had changed over the years, and knowing that you played a 25 instead of 21.
That's right.
And then also the fact, and I always, the early games during the season, I remind the fans of that. I said, if you're new to watching today's volleyball, and the fact that you play to 15 if it goes to a fifth set.
That's right. And still have to win by 2.
Still got to win by 2, and the fact that you do not have to serve in order to score.
That's right. Rally scoring. Yeah. I remember it. I mean, I think I was in middle school, right? Like when it was if you serve, that's the only time you can get a point. And then, but the games were only to 21, and then 2 out of 3 was always. And then when they went to rally, but it started at the men's game, and then it went down to the women's, and college.
If we can just get men's college basketball to play in quarters like every other form of basketball does. Don't even get me started on that, because when we went to quarters in women's basketball, that sped up the game greatly, and I really wish we would get out of this with the men with this traditional 2 halves of 20 minutes where that's concerned. I didn't mean to go chase a rabbit.
No, it's good. I get it. We both played basketball, so we're right there with you too. We get it.
So you played together at Freed Hardeman.
We did.
Tell me, coaches always talk about life lessons that sports teaches you. What did you learn life lessons from playing volleyball at Freed? Emily, let me start with you on that one.
Oh, I was just thinking your teammates are your family, because we're together. And now even we're together so much, and our families they have to be together, and we rely on each other so much, and we do feed off each other so much.
I was going to ask about that a minute ago, because you as the assistant coach, do you find yourself at times almost knowing instinctively what the other one is thinking?
Oh, yes. We do
Seems
not.
like I pushed a button right there.
No, it's always good, though, because we counter each. Like,
we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're very close, but yet we're different people. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I need her a lot. Mm-hmm. And, like, I wouldn't be the coach that I am without her, and our counter and how it's like, hey, like she's yelling at me the other night, like, get off the court. You got to get off the court. Like, back up.
You're on the court.
You can't play. You've had your time.
I was wondering, did you ever get the idea that you want to get out on the court and play?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the USJ team this year, and give us an idea of how far you are along in the season, and just how people are. Tell us about how people can see the team, because that is always we have it here on BallGame Blitz Sports Network, but it's so much fun to see in person.
Yes, this team is pretty special and kind of different. They we're 11-5 right now, and we're tied for first in the district. Mm-hmm. We play TRA tomorrow at home, and the winner of that, I believe, clinches first. Our district has been kind of crazy with wins and losses, but on our end, I know that if we win, then we'll be first in our district. And we have one more district matchup next week at Jackson Christian on Tuesday. And then if we can just win out with that. So volleyball is short and quick. Mm-hmm. So we play
2 months.
Yeah, pretty much. It's everybody pretty much plays 2 or 3, at least 3 games a week.
Okay.
We took 1 week where we didn't have a game because we left and went down to Alabama to play in a tournament, which was awesome for our girls. And we just took varsity, and it was great. So with that, we've got to finish out next week, and then the region tournament is the next. So the play-in game is that September 30th, and then into the region tournament. But these girls are fun. They love each other. They get along. They play together. They hold each other accountable, but in a healthy way. And this is my 5th year at USJ and Emily's 4th. And
that was that 1 year where you said no.
Yes. And then I made her coach club.
I was having babies. It was a lot.
She was having babies. Yeah, that's right.
They're so much fun.
She was, but I talked to her, and Nathan Spencer, he was like, no, get her. She's coming. She's coming. I was like, okay, Nathan, you call her because she's going to listen. And she did, but that was great. But, yeah, so this team is really fun. And we also coach. We start coaching down in 6th grade at USJ.
Okay, so it's like a feeder program.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So we have, when I got hired, I was their 5th coach in 5 years, and they just wanted stability. They wanted a culture created. And so I knew, okay, I'm going, and then I got to get my people surrounded me. And so, of course, she was my first call. She denied me the first year, but then she kind of
just horrible.
David,
Emily,
have
you
a
need to
child.
ask forgiveness
She
for the rest
literally
of
did,
your
though.
life.
Like both her kids are born in the fall during volleyball season, so she had to kind of put it down. But so this group we had in middle school, and they're just fun. Yeah, they're just fun to watch. They get along. They play hard, and I don't.
Yeah. No, it's good.
They're a good group.
That's the key, I think, in building a culture is particularly chemistry, and how girls in this particular situation they like being together off the court as well as on the court.
Yes.
And that's where I've so many coaches in various sports over the years that I've talked to, and they say, I know that we may not go as far as we would like to go, but I can be satisfied that this team is one that they have really enjoyed playing together.
Yes, yeah.
And
I think they've had people before them come through, and they've been able to learn from them. And so our 5 seniors are like us with coaching. Like, I'm going to take this from this senior class. I'm going to not do this from, or, whatever it is. And they've really embraced, like, we want to be the best senior leaders that we can be. And we're going to hear from one of them here in a little bit. And they literally took so much time to talk to each other, those 5, and realize what they wanted the season to be like, and have just been those leaders.
Well, I'm going to break in here because we are going to, in just a moment, meet one of those senior leaders right here, up close and personal, as we always enjoy doing. And we'll be talking also more during the evening with both Martha and Emily. But for right now, we've got those folks who are our good sponsors who want to visit with you for a few moments. And so we'll do that, and we'll come back with more right here on the USJ Coaches Show.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
No matter where you are, you can shop 24/7 at HumboldtDodgeChryslerJeep.com with the area's largest used car inventory.
Is your vehicle ready for an oil change? Did you know that we do way more than just tires? From brakes, to belts, to alignments, to even air conditioning work. Engine light on? We can fix that too. Come see us today at one of our 3 King Tire Company locations in Jackson and Humboldt.
If it's black, round, and rolls, we have it in stock for you. I'm Taylor at King Tire Company. Come see us at any of our 3 convenient locations in Jackson or Humboldt and let our family take care of yours.
We are back live here at the Blacksmith Restaurant in downtown Jackson, Tennessee, and it's always great to be here on Wednesday night with the USJ Coaches Show. Tonight we're spotlighting volleyball, and it's one of my favorite sports because it's one that I just called Union University's 3-set victory last night over Christian Brothers, and it was just really, I felt like we were getting right back in gear once again, and so tonight we're going to get in gear. Martha's staying with us as we meet one of our seniors here for the USJ Lady Bruins, and that is Lexi Krennis. Lexi, it's so good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, now we got to talk first to you, and then I'm going to get the real lowdown from the coach. I'll find out the true story where that's concerned. But Lexi, tell me what led you to play volleyball to start with.
It's a really funny story, actually, because my parents tried to push me to play every single sport on the planet. And then I got to middle school, and I saw a little flyer, and it was middle school volleyball tryouts. And I came home, and I was like, I think I'm going to try out for volleyball. So there really was no, prior, drive for it. And I was going to try it out. And
you just had that energy that came from the folks.
Yeah, I just kind of felt it. I was like, yeah, I'll try this out.
Now, are you a multi-sport athlete, or is this the one that you focus on?
I'm not. Volleyball is my sport.
Okay, and so when you started playing middle school volleyball, how tough was it for you to learn the game and the fundamentals of the game? Because, a lot of people play volleyball in the backyard or with a youth group or something like that. But first time playing with real fundamentals?
Yeah, I was probably pretty rough at first, but I got really obsessed with it. I asked my parents to buy me different volleyballs. I would go. I don't have any siblings, so I would have to go outside and just pass against the wall, the brick in the garage, and I'd probably drive my parents crazy. I'd go into their room, actually, and practice serving against their wall, which I don't think they liked very much, but
Well,
worth
you
it.
know,
It
if
was worth
it jars
it. It was
the
worth
house,
it.
they
It's
think
worth
you're
it.
having an earthquake. Or
oh yeah, they were worried I was going to put a dent in the wall, but
Well, you and I have that one thing in common, is that we both are, if you will, I had used the term only children, but we are, we didn't have any siblings, and so I can probably compare notes with you on that all
Yeah.
together. All right, now Martha, I'm going to get back to her in a second, but tell me the real story, the real Lexi Krennis story.
Oh, okay. Love her. Love her.
Now, is there a
So
butt in there?
No, I'm
Maybe.
just I was a setter. I've only ever been a setter. So when you're a coach and that's what you were, you tend to be a little bit harder and more demanding.
a little more than a little.
A little bit?
Little's an understatement. I won't lie.
Have you had days where you just wanted to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay, because right now she's leading the team and she's doing what senior year, and it's worth it. And then it's just awesome to see her dedication, and her families and her parents are so supportive of her. And she's only ever risen to what I've ever asked. And so my first year coaching her was your eighth grade
Yeah, my
year, right?
eighth grade season.
So when I came to USJ, there weren't many good fundamentals that had been taught prior. So there was a lot of just little things that people that don't know volleyball won't know. So like footwork was a huge thing.
Yep.
Hand placement was a huge thing. And setters are the quarterbacks. Like, you have every second ball. You're involved in every play. And so you have to take the criticism and take the hard correction, but know it's out of love, because I want to ask her to do something I didn't think that she was capable of doing. And she has only ever risen to it and been capable of doing whatever is asked. And, last year, she went down with a really bad ankle injury, and we just kind of had to pick up a little bit and just kind of make shift until she could get back. And then when she was back, everybody settled and we were good. And then this year she has just gone with it, and but she also is invested in the future. And so she's going to help coach one of our travel teams after season, which we run like a travel program out of the school, just kind of our people, because our girls love volleyball and they just want to play year round. And so Lexi's played year round ever since she started playing. And so she wants to invest back into that. And she's a great leader. She takes time to communicate to Sophie, who is our other setter, who's a sophomore this year. And then we also have Leah Brooks, who's a setter, and just that heart and that mindset you don't find, but it's just, we're very blessed to have that mentality and that heart that Lexi does.
Lexi, how difficult was it for you emotionally when you injured the ankle and couldn't play?
It was really rough, because I felt like I had really finally stepped in we had a great season going. We had a winning record. We were on the come up. We had very strong hitters. We had just finally felt like everything started to click. And then when I got hurt, it was hard on, I think, probably everyone. Not just because whenever you're playing with only 6 girls, you really, we all know each other so personally. We know the things we like to do. We know how people move and just work together on the court. So when you're missing one person, it does a lot to everybody else.
You have to make adjustments, and injuries are part of the game in any sport, but
yes.
it has to be tough to sit back and not be out there contributing like you would like. I know it had to be.
It was pretty hard, but I also, like Coach Martha was talking about, I really have a lot of faith in the future of USJ volleyball, and watching Sophie come up as a freshman and work her way through everything while I was out, it was made me feel really good because now I know that next year's teams and our future teams will be good as well.
In case you just joined us here on the USJ Coaches Show, we are visiting with head volleyball coach Martha Sheffield and one of her seniors who's one of the leaders on this ball club, Lexi Krennis. Lexi, tell us also about your academic side at USJ, because we always like to meet the players up close and personal. What are your favorite subjects at school?
So I have pushed myself every year in high school. I try to take hard courses, and through that I have figured out I'm definitely more of an English and reading person. I
love it as a journalist. I love hearing that. Yes.
I take the APs and the honors, and the numbers show that I'm more of an English and reading, not math and science.
Well, then tell me this. To what degree are you going to pursue that in college?
Well, I'm planning on going to law school.
Okay.
Eventually, once I get through undergrad, and I'm majoring in business with a minor in Spanish. Spanish and English are tied for my favorites.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, where do you want to go to school?
I'm not dead set on any school yet, but my top two right now are the University of Georgia and UT Knoxville.
I'm a Bulldog. Now, I got to tell you, I have met somebody after my own heart right here the last 2 years. I may never see it again in my lifetime, and I didn't think I would when I had to wait 41 years between national championships.
Yeah, Georgia, it's gotten very selective, so part of that is because of football.
What led you to Georgia? As a possibility. I know that's not your final choice, but what led you to that?
I knew that I wanted to go to an SEC school, but I also didn't want to stay super close. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm getting older and that time is getting closer.
You're beginning to feel a little more of the
pangs. Yeah, a lot is changing, and I'm kind of seeing how much my life is going to change in a couple of months. So I have some in-state options as well, but if I do go out of state, it'll probably be Georgia.
Well, if you do, Athens is a great place. I have many wonderful memories there and still have a couple of friends who decided to live on there and work, but it was really good to me. So that's the first time I have interviewed an athlete here in the state of Tennessee that said they thought they may go to the University of Georgia.
Well, maybe we'll see if I get in.
Hold it to you, Lexi.
Yeah, no promises.
Martha, did you see her? The folks at home,
Just
did you
kidding.
see Martha wrinkle her nose?
My granddaddy was a Bulldog. It's fine.
Okay, see.
No promises. We'll see.
Grandpa's always a good guy where that's concerned. Now, tell us about your family. Of course, we've learned that you are a no-sibling child, but tell us about your family. What are the things you enjoy doing when you are together?
So my family loves pickleball.
I believe that's the fastest-growing sport in America right now.
Oh, it is. And I played with my parents for a little bit, but school doesn't really allow me to hang at the pickleball courts with them as much. But my dad and I try to get coffee every Saturday morning because he's very busy. He's a lawyer. And my mom, she's home. She's home until I leave, and then she may go back to work. But because I'm a senior, I get free periods and lunch breaks, so I go get food with her and just try to keep them as close as I can before I have to leave.
How did I miss out on free periods when I was a senior?
I don't know. I did too, Steve.
I'm not going to tell you how many years. Well, I will tell you that was 50. That was 52 years ago when I was a senior. That's frightening.
We are very fortunate to have study hall and free periods where we can go home.
What is it that is important for a senior to be a good leader on a team like yours?
Not having the mentality that you are better than someone else because of your age. That's an issue that I think, not even an issue, but just kind of a stigma that a lot of seniors, it's very easy to have because you are the top dog, you are the oldest. And there's just a line between respect and how you treat others, because at the end of the day, it is a team and we all couldn't do it without each other. So I think it's just important to draw the line and know not to cross it when it comes to respecting your teammates.
Martha, what does she mean to you?
She means a lot.
I'm about to start tears over here right now.
I'm sorry. Just hearing her say that is a lot because the best players are the selfless players. And as a setter, being involved in it's so easy to point fingers. And in life, I mean, that's a life lesson. And we talk a lot in our program just about life and how things are bigger than USJ volleyball and USJ academics and whatever it is, because they have so much life ahead of them. And so when talking with our volleyball family, and we call each other the family, and that is what we are, but just knowing that she knows that takes a lot for a senior just to be able to sit here and know, like, there might be somebody better than me, and just because they're younger doesn't mean they're any less important. But in volleyball, like, there's 6 people on that court, and you have no idea where the ball's going to next. And so you have to trust and have faith, but you also have to build up. Like, we have a starting freshman middle, and then we have sophomores that are stepping up, but without our 5 seniors being able to get them to be confident in what they are and what they can do, it just means so much. Like, I mean, I couldn't be prouder just to hear her say, like, just because I'm a senior doesn't mean, like, I'm better than anybody that's a lower classman, because that's not how it works. But not everyone is blessed to have that kind of leadership. And so when I said earlier, this class is special, this team is special, that's why. Because these 5 seniors have come together, and they all are on that same page. And that the freshman is just as important as the senior in order to win.
Lexi, I know that we have young people like you that are leading in the future. We're in great hands.
Yes, we are.
And we
Thank
are
you.
really pleased to have had you with us on the Coaches Show tonight, and wish you great success for the rest of the season, but also in your future.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So we've been visiting with Lexi Krennis, a senior on the USJ volleyball team. And when we come back, we've got one of the juniors on this team, and we'll find out about her up close and personal right after these messages on the USJ Coaches Show.
Turn to the experts. Since 1955, Garrett Plumbing and Heating has been the leader in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning service and installation for West Tennessee. A proud supporter of USJ Bruin Athletics, we are your local Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Call Garrett Plumbing and Heating, 668-3339, for all of your plumbing, heating, and air needs.
At Nest Realty Jackson, connections and relationships are at the heart of everything we do. We wake up every day with the goal of helping our agents build trust, relationships, and community. Let's connect.
Buy a car in your bikini. Buy a truck in your jammies. Buy an SUV in your, well, no matter what you're wearing or not. Shop JonesChevroletHumboldt.com with the area's largest used car inventory.
And we continue on the journey of the USJ Coaches Show, live from downtown Jackson at the Blacksmith. And as we always say, we're here Wednesday nights from 7:30 to 8:30, and we'd love to have you come down and join us right here, enjoy the great food, the fellowship, and be here to personally support the USJ athletes that we interview, and the coaches too. So we are with Coach Martha Sheffield, who is the head coach of the girls volleyball team at USJ, and with her right now is one of the juniors on this team, Haynes Holtham. Hey, Haynes, it's so good to have you here.
Thanks.
And it's going to be fun. I promised you it was going to be fun today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not one who breaks my word, particularly to high school students on here. Well, Haynes, tell us about this. You're a junior this year, and I always like to ask the athletes that I have on this program what it was that led you to fall in love with your sport, and particularly volleyball. Tell us how you got started with it.
Well, in 6th grade, just everyone kind of tries out for middle school volleyball, but she wasn't my coach when I was in 6th grade. She wasn't my coach until 7th grade, and that's when I started to really love volleyball.
So you mean you've been able to last it with her that long?
Surprising, right?
Watch it.
I was waiting to set that one up. It's a great line.
It's fine.
Now, do you have an athletic? Do you have an athletic family?
Oh, yes, sir, I do. Both my parents played sports growing up, and then both my brothers do also.
Now, there's an athlete that I used to, and I still do call Union basketball. There was somebody that I had, Mary Beth Haltom.
That's my aunt.
It's your aunt.
Yes, sir.
See, now that makes me feel old now because Mary Beth's not supposed to have an aunt that's your a niece that's your age right there. I got to get my tongue straight on here on what the relationships are. Yeah, Mary Beth was on one of our really deep teams that we had at Union back in the early double O's and played with Jessica Henson and some of the other greats that we had there at that point in time. Now, are you a single sport, or are you multi-sport athlete?
No, sir. I also run track.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you run? What events in track?
I run the 4x4, 4x1, 4x2, and open 400.
She's won state in track.
You have me exhausted just thinking of all those things you do. Now, okay, how is it? What's the adjustment from playing a sport like volleyball that, compared to track, is a little bit more static, even though you're moving around on the court a lot? But in particular, how is the adjustment going from one sport to the other?
Well, volleyball's a lot about, like, you mess up and you just move on to the next play. But in track, you have one try to get it right, and it's more just like all on you, not on your whole entire team.
Well, and I've talked to some of our multi-athlete sports, and I remember when we had the young ladies from soccer on here, and they started telling us about, one of them said, the day after we have state finals, we immediately go into basketball right after that. You got a little bit of a leeway in there between one sport and the other for you.
Well, our tryouts is actually the same day as state.
Oh, my. Like I said, I get exhausted just listening to you talk about that. Now, I'm going to turn the tables right here because I did this to Lexi, so I'm going to do it to you. Now, I want you to tell us, Martha, the real story about Haynes Haltom. The real Haynes Haltom story. Let's hear it. I knew we were going to get this started again.
So, Haynes does whatever I ask her to do. She does. She raises to it. So
that was an interesting expression.
She does, in a good way. So when I stepped into the program, I didn't know positions or anything like that or who played what. And I guess she had been a hitter, or I started her kind of as a hitter. And then she's an amazing passer. So I transitioned her to libero in the middle of her 7th grade year.
In the middle of the game.
Yeah, in the middle
of the game. Now,
what
was
that
like?
I had her change jerseys. Yeah, that was good.
Well,
that was good.
It really stressed me out, I'll say.
But if you don't have a pass, you can't have it set or hit.
Yeah. Go change jerseys right now. And I was like, ooh.
So, and since then, she was my libero. And so you have the setter who's kind of like the quarterback, but the libero is the center. So the quarterback cannot, or the setter cannot set the ball unless you have the center to hike it to, or, well, in this pass, set it. Up until this year, and she is now an outside hitter playing all the way around for us. She's got a really strong arm. She's left-handed, hard to block, and we just needed another hitter strength on the outside, and she's embraced it, and she's busted her butt to try to be the best outside all-around player that she can be. When she's back row, she's in that libero position, which is middle back, and she's doing her thing.
You get the digs out of there, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So we've had moments, good moments, but challenging and she's risen to them every time. It's like, you got this. She stepped in as a freshman, and I put her in that libero jersey, and I was like, I don't care. Like what Lexi was talking about earlier, I don't care what your age is. You're the libero. You're the center. You're going to dominate. And she bought in.
I'm telling you that, particularly calling Union volleyball as I do, and I understand now, with the number of years I've been doing it, I understand now about how physical the sport is, and sometimes, as we just heard about with Lexi, injuring her ankle last year. How have you held up with that and avoiding injuries?
Well, I don't really get injured. Stuff hurts all the time.
You're just black and blue all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. It's like Amy Philomley Flores, who was one of our great players at Union in basketball, and she said, we just load up on the ibuprofen after the game is over with us concerned. We want to find out a little bit more about you personally. Tell us about your family.
Well,
the good things now.
my dad is Doug Haltom.
Yeah.
He went to school at USJ.
Yeah.
He grew up here. My mom's Beth Haltom, not the realtor. Not to be confused with the realtor.
I know that's confusing.
That's my cousin.
Yeah.
She went to school in Memphis, and then they met in college and whatever, and then they had me and my brothers. My brothers are in 6th grade and 8th grade. They both play football, basketball, baseball.
Now, who gets picked on the most?
Oh, my middle brother.
Oh, okay. It's always the middle one in there.
It's always the middle one.
So did you just graduate to a point where you are the alternative parent if the folks are away? And so do you wield a big stick?
I would say so, yes.
Now, you heard it here first.
She tries.
Now, what do you enjoy doing when you're away, when you got holidays and you're away from the athletic field and from school? What do you enjoy doing?
I like to hang out with my friends a lot. I didn't really like to travel until this summer. I travel a lot, and I ended up really liking it.
Where did you go?
I went to Spain and France.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I went to the beach, and I went to New York. We went to Cape Girardeau for volleyball.
That doesn't count.
You've been everywhere. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who go to the end of their life and they don't get to see those places with that concern. What was special about Spain and France?
It was just so different, the culture, everything. They don't eat as much food. That's so true. And then all the buildings, everything's so like old, all of the architecture. It was really beautiful, especially in Paris. You don't really see anything like that here.
Well, and I had the opportunity to go to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland last year, and you just get a different feel. It's almost like a different flavor when you get off the plane and you get to mix around with people in the downtown areas. It was so much fun to be able to do that. Tell us really what your goals are after you got another year at USJ. You can't graduate early. We're not going to let you do that. So, so tell us this: what are your goals after you graduate, and where are you even thinking about going to college at?
I'm not really sure yet, but my top two right now are probably University of Tennessee at Knoxville or University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they're both great schools. They are. Now, how did Chapel Hill get into it?
Like, I don't really know, honestly. It just kind of just appeared in my mind, and I was like, oh, well.
Well, they're legendary in basketball. They're a pretty good football team this year as well.
Yes, sir.
But thinking about that, though, what do you hope to study?
I want to major in biochem, and I'd like to be a plastic surgeon.
Oh my goodness! So when I get old and decrepit, and if I'm still around, you can fix me up and get me to at least where I look maybe 5 years younger.
Yes, sir.
That's a marvelous goal, because there's so many young people when they get to that age, they have no idea what they want to do. It's not saying you're not going to change your mind, but to know that you've got something that tangible right there, that's terrific. Tell us what she means to this team.
You do this every time. There's a reason these two are captains, and they are Coach Emily and I on the court. They lead the team.
Which one are you?
I'm her.
She didn't even.
I had to ask.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the.
It all comes out here.
Yeah. We're just extremely blessed. I mean, USJ is an amazing place, and when you asked me what brought me, it was truly God. And so with my relationships with these girls, I learn just as much from them as they do from me. And they teach me stuff every day, and I'm going to be a better mom to my kids because of my relationship with them and learning from them and what they need in their lives and, stuff like that. But she means a lot to this program, and like I said earlier, she's only ever answered to anything that I have challenged her with. And her parents, her family is in full support of everything. And we're just extremely blessed within the volleyball family at USJ and the support that we have and building that culture. And, it all started with, there was a class with Savannah Spencer and Ella Shelton and Reagan Carney, and Eliza Horn, they got me to USJ, and God was working with them to get me there and my family there. And then my relationship with them, I will always be thankful for that group of parents being able to be part of these girls' lives.
Well, we want to thank you for spending some time with us tonight. I want to wish you an extraordinary amount of good luck the rest of the season, but also in all of your future endeavors. And as I just told Lexi a few moments ago, with young people like you and the other athletes we've met here, we're in great hands for the future, without question about that. Thanks for being on with us, Haynes.
Thank you for having me.
And Haynes Haltom here with our head coach, Martha Sheffield. And we're going to come back and land the plane with Martha and Emily and try to wrap things up, talk about their season that's yet to come, and any final thoughts that we have, or maybe some very special secrets we haven't revealed already. That'll be coming up next here on our final segment of the USJ Coaches Show. Stay with us.
If you are in need of luxury interior design services, look no further than Campbell King Interiors. Based in Jackson, Tennessee, Caroline Campbell and Erica King have a combined experience of 31 years. From residential design services to commercial construction, no job is too big. Let Campbell King Interiors transform your vision into reality. You can find them at www.campbellkinginteriors.com or on Instagram and Facebook.
New Nissans are rolling in. Over 70 new Nissans to choose from. That means special incentives. 0% financing up to 60 months. And invoice pricing, so you pay what we pay. Plus over 70 pre-owned units. Something for everyone. Certified pre-owned too. Luxury vehicles. BMW, Lexus, Alfa Romeo, and much more at Carlock Prestige. Check out all we have to offer at CarlockNissanofJackson.com. You should already be here.
Back live here from downtown Jackson, Tennessee on the patio of the Blacksmith. And it is a great place. We're here every Wednesday night at 7:30. We invite you to come down a little bit early and enjoy the food. And if you're a USJ parent or if you support the school and their athletic programs, come on down here and enjoy the meal with us, because it's great to have all of that support behind us. But it's beautiful out here tonight, just perfectly cool. It's no humidity that you feel. It's really a super evening, as we hope every Wednesday evening is. And we are going to have such a marvelous time in this final segment with Martha and Emily, because if you were not with us in the first segment, you need to go back and watch it again, because it was, shall we say, an evening to remember.
Great.
Head coach Martha Sheffield and her assistant and longtime friend Emily Bullard back with us to wrap things up. All right, now bring us up to date with where you are in the season and how much is left to go.
So we are currently 11-5, and we are tied for first in the district. And if we need to win tomorrow to clinch first, we still have 2 more district matches to play. TRA tomorrow and Jackson Christian next Tuesday. But if we can win tomorrow, then we'll be good going into postseason. We are hosting the region tournament at USJ this year, which is
that'll
awesome.
Be fabulous.
Yes, so that is the following week.
And we've got our
Paul
executive
doesn't
producer.
Get a fall break.
Yeah, our
Sorry,
executive
Paul.
producer's over here cheering it on. Right? Emily, coaches always say this, and it becomes almost a cliche, but tell me how challenging it is for young athletes at their age to get them to focus on one match at a time.
Oh. I don't even know where to start. I mean, it is. Because we play, 3 matches a week, sometimes a tournament on the weekends. I mean, it's it's hard for me to even just one day at a time. We got to take this one day at a time. We try to prep them. I mean, we try to just focus in on the practice beforehand and try to get them to, I mean, ooh, it's hard.
Not everybody has this option as we do here with the volume that Worthy Road Studios and the BallGame Blitz Sports Network does of area high school action. But how much video study do you do to prep them for the games?
Oh, we do a lot. I mean, even tonight, I mean, our practice beforehand, we were blocking out defense and blocking out, I mean, we want to know, you know, their strongest point. You know, we want to know what our weakest point was mostly. And that's what we watch a lot of, just seeing where we need to improve. And we try to adjust in practice. I mean, it's, yeah.
Attacking the weak spots
of
the opposition where that's concerned. Martha, this is another thing that now that I've become a volleyball broadcaster, I really never thought of it this way until actually being up high enough to be able to see the whole court really and having to be somewhat objective when I call the games. But volleyball is a game of geometry.
Yes.
And most people don't consider that. Now,
yes.
I don't know whether you teach that actually in there, but getting the angles right for them to make return volleys, and particularly with power. And how do you teach that?
So you simplify it for your players. So like Emily and I's conversation is a lot different than the way I approach it with the girls. So percentage serve receive, they might not realize what I'm doing, but like this passer might only be covering 15% of the court, where this passer is, and then within our hitters and adjusting the defense to, like she said, the way I film our games, like we have the amazing opportunity to go back and watch games with Worthy Road and see all aspects of the court. And then I have my film that just is our side of the court. Okay. So we can see our blockers and our angles and hitting projections, and then the way our defense moves, because that's the thing. Like, you just have to keep the ball in play. You have to read in volleyball a lot, but as coaches, we have to set them up to the best opportunity that they have to be able to read. So we've made adjustments even for tomorrow that we were implementing tonight in practice about, like, hey, you're going to cover this percentage of the court, like Haynes is when she's back row is this, and then I'm pulling this. So you simplify it for them because all they need to know is their job, their role. Our word this year that we came up with this summer was purpose. And it's simple when you think of the word purpose, but then how far you can go with that word, it's just leaps and bounds because it's individual. Like, what was your purpose in touching that ball? Like, if that ball comes to you, what's your purpose in that? And then as a team, what is our purpose? As coaches, what is our purpose together as coaches? What's their purpose without us? And just honing on that word I haven't ever used before in my coaching career, but I'm loving it because I can use it in every.
They are not our sponsor, by the way.
When I'm mad at them, it's purpose. When I'm happy with them, it's purpose. So you just simplify it, and they're still kids, and so you give them what they need, and you don't want to overwhelm them or make them where they're like second guessing and scared to make a mistake too. So it's just a balance.
I asked you both about this when you were playing in college, but how important is it to teach life lessons to these kids that have maybe nothing to do with what the final score is? How important is it to teach life lessons to these young people?
I think I said today in practice, nobody cares, work harder. She just said it. I mean, that's one of our favorite phrases, though. Yeah. You can give all the excuses you want, but at the end of the day, nobody really cares. Work harder, do better, be better. I mean, if you're going to touch the ball, you need to better the ball, and it's a lot about life lessons. I think sports in general is, though. Yeah. I think it's wonderful.
With females, too. Like we're raising these girls to be amazing wives and amazing moms someday, and also and amazing employees and coworkers, but. And Christian, and just loving life and loving God and appreciating that, and then appreciating who they are and what God has made them to be. And if that is a wife someday, if that is a mom, it's a selfless job. Playing sports, it should be selfless.
We hold them
you know?
accountable. I
Yeah.
mean, why'd you do that? I don't know. Well, do
you
better.
just set her up to
Yeah.
not be able to succeed. Like, what is your purpose in that? And,
It's like so many coaches have told me, trying to get them to understand how not to make the same mistake twice.
Yes.
And it's I know it's a challenge every day, but when you look at another question I always think is interesting to explore is how tough is it to get them to put aside a loss after, in particular if it's one that you felt like you had and it got away from you. How hard is it? It's probably tough enough for you as coaches, but for the girls to put aside a loss and say, okay, we got to wipe this out and we got to get a clean slate and come on to the next game.
Volleyball, you don't have time
really
to
don't.
do that because, like I said, we play 3 games a week. So if it's a tough loss on Monday, we don't have time to think about it. Like, we got to go into Tuesday's match. So in a game even, I give them 5 seconds. I'm like, you can turn around and you think about it for 5 seconds, and then you got to think about the next play. But that's also the best thing about volleyball.
It kind of is because you just have to clear.
Yeah, it's just the next play, next point mentality, next point mentality. Like, that point doesn't matter. There's nothing we can do about it, but the next point we can fix, we can do. And so, but we are blessed to be able to coach them starting in 6th grade. So we try to instill that then of like, okay, it's done. You can't fix it, but you can control this next one. And talking about life lessons, like, you can't control a mistake that you made yesterday, but you can change and try not to make that mistake the next day. So those kind of relations and, I guess, linking those together with them helps too.
What is the greatest joy? I'll start with you, Martha, but you chime in on this as well, Emily. What is the greatest joy that each of you has out of coaching?
Cool.
Here come the tears again.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you cry?
I did.
You cried earlier?
I did.
It was an important moment, folks.
Well, it was. Proud of you. Coach, I don't think I can think of just one greatest joy.
Then tell us more.
Okay, I
She
got
can
one.
go.
We
All
both have daughters. So
Mm-hmm.
speaking of family, I mean, we have kids running around practice sometimes, and
Oh, I
it's
bet.
crazy. But I mean, my daughter wants me to fix her hair like the girls, and she wants to wear clothes like them, and she wants to be like them, and that's important. That's important if they're going to be around and our children are going to see them. I mean, we want them to be right and do right and be good people, and we want to instill that in them, so then it trickles down, and that's been a really great thing. I mean, because I didn't do the first year,
Yeah, we've heard that
Yeah.
story. You can
Did
go
the
back
first
and
year.
watch
Yeah,
this
that's
show
fine.
again from the beginning and find out why Emily did not coach the first year
But-
that Martha did. It's a sinister story.
But then, I mean, having a daughter and having her grow up around all of these girls and us, I mean, that's really cool. It's really cool to watch.
That's cool.
How about you? Anything you would add to that, Martha?
Yeah, I think in coaching, and my mom, it was just always told by my mom and dad, like, you want to be what maybe your kids need someday. So when I think of all of our children are athletes, and I think about like Audra Knox and Kinley and who they have as coaches, like I want to show an example of maybe what they'll have someday. So when I look at all of these girls, I want to be what their parents hope that I can be outside of volleyball. So yeah, we're gonna teach them volleyball. We're gonna try everything we can to make them be successful and to give them the tools that they need to be successful at. But at the same time, like we spend so much time with them that during season they're with us more than they are with their parents. And I think coaches that take that lightly maybe shouldn't be coaches, because you're you're shaping these kids. And like as parents, like we are extremely blessed that our parents don't bat an eye when I'm like, hey, we're taking these girls to a tournament. They're with us. They're staying with us, and I got them. And they're like, okay, we trust you. But with that comes like what we would hope someday our kids will have.
Yeah.
And so the greatest reward in that, though, is them just loving each other and respecting each other, and then seeing those that have gone, that are graduated in college and touching base with them and knowing that they've got this. And they have amazing parents too, but it's just so much more than the sport. And
we have about 1 minute left. Tell us again tomorrow time of the game against Tipton Rosemark.
Yes, it's varsity only, 5 p.m. at USJ.
And this is the one where they can sew it all up and they can advance to the postseason,
right.
and it will be a dandy.
Well,
and
yes.
I hope that all of you who support USJ will be there in person to see it. If not, you can see it on the USJ Facebook page and Worthy Road Studios, and you'll see all of the action live, and you'll see them on the court doing what they do, as well as the young ladies.
Literally on the court.
Yeah. I mean, we've already heard about how Emily had to drag Martha off the court previously, and it was a real bad situation, and they never did it again. But we also want to thank Lexi Krennis as well as Haynes Haltom for joining us tonight. It was great to meet them up close and personal. Ladies, this has been a blast. It's been a fast-moving hour.
Yes, thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank
having
you.
us. Yeah.
And we got to do this again sometime. Oh, my goodness. Martha Sheffield and Emily Bullard, the coaches of the USJ Lady Bruins. And as I say, get out to see them tomorrow afternoon. If you can't in person, watch it streaming on Worthy Road Studios as well as the USJ website and Facebook page. We've got a run for this Wednesday night. We'll be back here again 1 week from tonight at 7:30 live from downtown Jackson at the Blacksmith on the patio area, and we hope you'll join us for that for the USJ Coaches Show. And until then, this is Steve Beverly saying so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports.
The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody.
Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers.
Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.